Hello and welcome everybody. We are live from Fort Mill, South Carolina. You're in the zone. That is the TNA Wrestling Fan Zone. For your information, your previews, your news and predictions all about TNA Wrestling. Now, let us welcome our TNA Wrestling Fan Zone superstars.
Whoa, whoa, we on the night. The darkness, you know who go the hardest. I roll out the red carpet, the 90s song and it belongs to us. The time has come, now raise them up. When we hit the streets, it's a main event, like we landed on the moon, nothing been the same since. Now let the limelight shine bright, we in our prime, at the time of our life. We on the night, hear us screaming louder. Can you see the fire in our eyes? Come on, we on the night, walk among the giants in a time. That's right. We on the night. Whoa, whoa. We on the night. Whoa, whoa. We on the night. Living to the fullest like we dodging bullets, heart racing, car chasing, amazing. We everywhere, doing everything. Don't blink, you don't wanna miss a thing. Let's go. Living to the fullest like we dodging bullets, heart racing, car chasing, amazing. We everywhere, doing everything. Don't blink, you don't wanna miss a thing. We on the night. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. We on the night. Whoa, whoa. That's right. We on the night. Whoa, whoa. We on the night. Whoa. We on the night.
Music. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your King of England champion and your leader of the Greasy Revolution and your former Greasy Revolution World's Heavyweight Champion of the world, Fatback. Greasy is back, and I hope everybody enjoyed a Hard to Kill prediction show that it just got uploaded last night, a few days ago anyway, if you're watching this at a later date, but that's another story. It's cool. This review will happen tonight. Hard to Kill 2021 review show. It's happening right now. I am your host, Fatback Greasy, of this show. I announced that Michael Miner will be here, but he will be here later tonight because I don't know. I heard Michael had some issues. He's in the stream somewhere in the internet land. I have no idea, but anyway, it could be Michael Scars' fault. But we'll see Michael in maybe a few minutes, maybe later. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I want to talk about is my Greasy Revolution Championship, like I talked about it on the prediction show, the stupid Santa Claus. I am sick and tired of Santa Claus. I still I haven't heard anything from him. I have called the Queen. She has I haven't heard from Santa Claus. She called him like 15 times. There's nothing Nothing from him, and the North Pole and his stupid elves won't answer the stupid phone. So I don't know what's going on. I can't stand Santa Claus because Santa Claus is an idiot trying to break in people's houses each and every year, and I don't like it. I don't like it, people, because the Greasy Revolution is sick of Santa Claus, like the Greasy Revolution is sick of Michael Scarface. We don't care about Kenny Omega. We don't care about Don Callis or the bad drunks, the good drunks, the guy, Luke Gallows, falling off his porch being drunk. I don't care. I don't care about that. All I care about, what, Eric? What? I know you was awesome tonight. You pile drived. You just pile drived everybody in that match. It was awesome. It was awesome. You pile drived Jake from State Farm and sent him back to State Farm to file a claim on his insurance. Yeah, I know. That's awesome. I love that match. I know, Eric. You still pulling thumbtacks out of your back? Oh, man, Eric. Come on. You're sitting in the production truck producing our show with thumbtacks in your back. Oh, my goodness. Can you see about Michael Miner? Can we get him on now? Is he ready? Did y'all get his feedback working again? All right, Eric. Well, bring Michael Miner in right now. What's up? Thank you, Eric. What's up, Michael?
You.
Wow. Did you see my impression of Kenny Omega?
Mm-hmm.
What you think of that? Come on, man.
I'm the daily host, so.
Oh, come on. You didn't like my impersonation of Kenny Omega?
That's fine.
Whatever. But what did you think? Hard to Kill, Michael, tonight was an amazing pay-per-view. There was a kind of a letdown. Okay, people. I was upset about it. Michael Miner was upset about it. They said the barbed wire massacre was going to be no ropes, barbed wire. What happened? Michael, we'll get into that situation in a little bit, but what did you thought overall on that match?
I thought it was a good match, but it was just pathetic.
It sure was. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. There was some hit and misses here, especially one match was just garbage, but we'll get into that too. But, Michael, it's good to see you again. We had a historic prediction show, and tonight we're going to have an awesome review here for Hard to Kill. We start off with the live countdown to Hard to Kill pre-show. We had an exclusive pre-show match. We had Kurt Hawkins, Brian Myers taking on Josh Alexander in this pre-show match. This was a good match to start off the night here at Hard to Kill. This is what happened. Josh Myers trips up Alexander. Then he begins to wear him down with the sleeper hold. Alexander fights back and creates a separation with a discus forearm. I guess maybe that was in tribute to Luke Harper, Brody Lee. Knocking Myers to the outside. Alexander hits a bridging suplex for 2. Myers hits a suplex followed by a sit-out driver for the near fall of his on. Myers pulls Alexander's headgear, puts it over his eyes where he couldn't see, and then capitalizes with the huge clothesline to win, and your winner, Brian Myers. I thought this was a really good match. I'm so glad they actually gave him more time than the Diener match from Bound for Glory. That's my opinion, because that Diener match only was like 2 minutes long, and this was a good maybe 4, maybe 5 minutes. It was decent. But Michael, your thoughts on the pre-show to hype everybody up for the before the start of Hard to Kill live on pay-per-view?
Yeah, I thought it was a good show. Can't wait to see what they're going to do next with this, but I really think what we're going to talk about in the main card should have been in the pre-show, and this match should have been on the main card. You'll find out why. I wanted to see this as on the main card more than the crappy, stupid cinematic match that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I totally agree. 100%. Before the pre-show ended, Michael, we had a big announcement from Madison Rayne announcing her retirement from Impact Wrestling. She retires being the 5-time Knockouts champion, 2-time Knockouts tag team champion, and she's going to be missed. I loved her on commentary, but we do have a better commentary team, in my opinion. But she was awesome on commentary with Josh Matthews as well. But Madison is going in a different direction outside of the wrestling business. But all in all, what do you think? Madison Rayne retiring in Impact Wrestling, Michael?
Yeah, I think it was her time to go. Congratulations, Madison Rayne. Hope we see you down the road. But yeah, it was her time to go. So, Madison, kudos to you.
But come on, Michael, she didn't have to go. She's the hot fry of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I know, but, she wants to spend more time with her kids and, that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, true. So we're going to move on to the first match. But before we get to the first match, the Hard to Kill went live from Nashville, Tennessee at Skyway Studios. And your brand new announce team, D'Lo Brown and Matt Striker. Michael, your thoughts on Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown going forward on the Impact Wrestling commentary booth?
It was cool. It was good to see Matt Striker and D'Lo as the commentator team. The only big one I liked was Matt Striker because he tells you more of a story of the match. He tells you details of the match. It was good to see that because Josh Matthews, I liked his commentary, but I wasn't really a big fan of him on commentary team. But congratulations to him being promoted to the backstage stuff. So yeah, I can't wait to see this whole new commentary team.
And not only did we get new commentary team, we also got piped in crowd noise tonight for the first time tonight during this pandemic era. You see all these other wrestling promotions try to do the piped in noise like WWE with the Thunderdome, and now Impact Wrestling is trying this as well. The only one that doesn't do pipe in crowd, as far as I know, is AEW because they actually bring in real people, real fans. But Michael, your thoughts on the piped in crowd? In my opinion, I think it helps the dead silence that they had, and it takes away from that squeaky, the ring being squeaky a little bit when they walk around in the ring. But that's just my opinion. I think they should turn it down a little bit, because you can't really hear what the wrestlers are saying in the ring. But they just need to tone it down a little bit. But that's my opinion. What is your thoughts on the piped in crowd noise?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the whole pop noise thing, it's really cool to see it being added. To me, I really thought it sounded like it was the people in the back doing the cheering and all that kind of stuff. But I thought it was really good to see that because, yeah, that whole dead silent thing is really crazy. But if it was me, I would do something a little bit like what AEW does with having the superstars. You have your face on one end, you have your heels on the other end. But it was good to see that. But I would love to see some like the superstars come out that weren't wrestling at all for a while. Have them on, put your faces on one side, throw your heels on the other. Then you would have so much of a crowd. You would have somewhat of a crowd. But the way this was really good.
Yeah, it sure was. Just they turn it down just a notch, is my opinion. So we're going on with the first match of the evening that happened at Hard to Kill. We had the return of Decay, Rosemary and Crazy Steve taking on Tennille Dashwood and Caleb Conley. They call him Caleb with a K in this match, mixed tag team match. I thought it was really good. I thought it was back and forth. This was a wrestling match, people. I loved it. At the end, you had Crazy Steve spit the mist in Caleb with a K's face. And then all of a sudden, you had Tennille Dashwood try to get involved with Crazy Steve. They got into it a little bit. Crazy Steve pushed her over to the ropes. Rosemary over to the ropes. Rosemary then spit the mist into Emma's face, and then that's when Decay took out Caleb with a duggable choke slam, and then Danelle broke it up. And then at the end of the match, Rosemary does Steve follows up with the tornado DDT to score the victory for Rosemary, and Crazy Steve got the win here. The return of Decay. This was good. I really enjoyed this. It was back and forth. It was a great, entertaining match. I'm glad to see Decay back. It was cool. The double miss in both Tenille Dashwood's face and Cable with Decay. Michael, your thoughts on the return of Decay? And it was a great opener to start off Hard to Kill.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think it was really good to see DK. It was good to see DK. I've been missing him so much with Rosemary, Crazy Steve, and Abyss.
We're going to move on to the next match on the card. It was what, Eric? Yeah. Okay. Well, Michael, he's still taking thumbtacks out of his back at this moment right now. Yeah, okay, Eric, we'll talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next match we had was Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doering, and they announced their name of their group. Finally, Michael, we never knew what their name was going to be. I thought it was going to be like The Cure or something. Yeah, but man, have an awesome name for their group. Violent by Design is the name of their group. What do you think of the new name for Eric Young, Doering, and Diener?
Yeah, I like their new name. It's really awesome to see that. I can't wait to see what else they do next.
Yeah, me too. They took on Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, and Cousin Jake from State Farm. And this match was all over the place. I loved how they had the graphics, the three-way camera graphics they showed on the screen. That was pretty cool to see. Like back in the day, they did that back in TNA in the early days. That was pretty cool back then. I'm glad they brought it back tonight. It was awesome to see that. But it was awesome. This is what happened during the match. Jake tried to soar through the air with a huge dive to the ramp on Eric Young. That's where I thought Eric got hurt. He looked like Eric got landed on his arm wrong or something. He was laying there for a long time, and I was like, is he hurt? Is he hurt? I'm like, I hope not, but he wasn't, thank goodness. And then Dreamer backdrops Eric Young into a pile of thumbtacks. Yeah, that was wicked. Rhino hits Doering with a gore. Diener hits the Diener DDT on Rhino. Cousin Jake connects with a massive black hole slam. I guess Abyss taught him that move on Diener. And then Eric Young hits Cousin Jake over the head with his hockey mask. And then he followed that by a pile dropper on Cousin Jake to get the win. Your winners, Violent by Design, Eric Young, Joe Doering, and Diener defeats Dreamer, Cousin Jake from State Farm, and Tommy or Rhino. So my thoughts on this match. This was awesome. I loved every minute of this match. Old school rules. It was epic. Awesome match. I loved it. Michael, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I thought so too. That was just brutal seeing that match. I was like, wow, but congratulations to Team Eric Young, which I knew they were going to win it. So, yeah, that was awesome.
Thank goodness we didn't have Heath Slater come out. I'm like, thank goodness.
Nope.
Heath Slater, like I said, Eric told me at the prediction show that he's still laid out at the hospital after they took him out of that room. So next, we went backstage with Rich Swann tells Moose that he doesn't trust him in the main event for tonight's show. Moose vows to put their differences aside in order to take out Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. So, Michael, your thoughts on Rich Swann and Chris Sabin didn't trust Moose?
Yeah, I thought so too. It really looked like they really didn't trust him, but hey, it was a last minute effort because of something that happened to Alex. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah.
So we go into the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Whoever wins is your new Knockouts Tag Team Champions of the world. We have Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz taking on Havoc and Nevaeh. Really good match. The team I wanted to win didn't win, but Michael got his pick right during this match. But Tasha hit a DDT on Havoc. Havoc connect then after the DDT with a double choke slam from the corner. Tasha hits Havoc with a jumping net breaker off the second rope, but Nevaeh breaks the pin. Kiera puts Nevaeh away with her signature swinging net breaker, which, Michael, that's a similar move to Nikki Cross. So they hit the swinging net breaker to win the match and become the new Knockouts champions. Your winners, Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan, your new Knockouts champion. After the match, we had Gail Kim and Madison Rayne presenting the titles to Tasha Steelz and Kiera Hogan. And then Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz got on the top, each turnbuckle at the top, and put the belts up in the air and just mouthed off, talk trash. So, Michael, your thoughts on the match, your thoughts on Madison Rayne and Gail Kim presenting the titles, your thoughts on them stealing Nikki Cross's move, and just overall your thoughts on the match.
Yeah, I thought the match was awesome. It was good to see my girls win it. I knew that Jessica Havoc and them weren't going to win. It was good to see them win it. Congratulations to them. Well deserved to win it. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that title.
And what did you think about them stealing Nikki Cross's move?
It was a little but hey, move's a move.
It is. So next they were going into the X Division title match, and then all of a sudden Ace Austin's music plays. They said this is not in the plans for tonight. Ace Austin said he got during the pre-show he got cut off, and they said we got to go, and he got upset about it. So he come out, and he's the Super X Cup winner, and he said that he deserves to be on Hard to Kill tonight. And he demanded Scott D'Amore to come out, and he said, I want to be put in the X Division title match, make it a fatal four-way. Told Scott D'Amore that. D'Amore finally come out and said, well, you know what? You do deserve your shot at the X Division title. He said, you're a good wrestler and all, but he said, it's not going to be tonight. He said, I have somebody else for you for tonight, and he's always ready. And out came a big shocker, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, came and shocked the world. He just was in AEW a few months ago, and now he's showed up in Impact Wrestling. And he faced Ace Austin in a kind of a short match because it ended in DQ. Fulton got in there and started beating up on Cardona, and it ended in DQ. Matt Cardona was your winner here, and man, I was like, when they were starting beating up Matt Cardona, I was like, come on, Brian Myers, come on out, come on, we need that reunion in Impact Wrestling. We didn't get it. Maybe we will. I would love to see them two go after the Good Brothers, Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. And this was cool. I love this shocker. I was excited about this. But I guess first we're going to have Ace Austin and Matt Cardona feud first. Maybe it's going to happen at Against All Odds in a rematch. We'll have to find out. But Michael, your thoughts? Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona making his shocking debut in Impact Wrestling. I was like, oh, I thought he was in AEW, but I guess that was like a short-term deal. But man, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's good to see Matt Cardone in AEW or in here at the shows. I mean, it's good to see him on Impact, but now can't wait to see what they're going to do with him in Impact Wrestling. I can't wait.
That's
Sucks
right.
to see him go in AEW, but I guess he was just there for a short while and then left.
Yeah, true. And here's an official Matt Cardona autographed 8x10, people. Right here at the TNA Fan Con. What do you think about that? This picture there, Michael?
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's awesome. They go right into the X Division Championship match. And man, this was an epic match. We had Chris Bay versus Raju versus the X Division champion himself, Manik. Man, this was cool. This was a very cool match. You had all these different kind of spots in the match. You had really cool spots. You had here's what happens during the match. Manik was perched above the second rope as Bay connects with a flying elbow drop to his back. Rohit powerbombs Bay on the hardest part of the ring. Rohit pulls the mask off and tries to reveal it was TJP, but when he revealed took the mask on, they said, "Show his face." The announcers D'Lo said, "Show his face, show his face." Well, when you got in his face, it looked like Stank. It looked like Stank, ladies and gentlemen, Stank. I'm like, why has he got Stank paint on? I don't know, but there you have it. But then it connects with a tornado DDT and Rohit. Bay cuts off Manik with a midair cutter, followed by the art of whatever Rohit's move was. And then at the end, we had Rohit stomp Bay in the corner, then lock the crossface on TJP. And then it rolls up Rohit to win the match and retain the X Division champion. So your winner is Manik retaining. Man, this was epic, Michael. I loved it. I even loved that big cutter that Chris Bay did off the top rope. I think it was to Rohit, I believe. That was insane. I loved it. What did you think overall of this crazy X Division match? And do you think Chris Bay did that better than Randy Orton?
Yeah, I think he did better than Randy Orton, but yeah, it was good to see him there. It was good to see that match. Congratulations to Manik, which we saw the face paint, and I was like, okay, is this
Stank? Stank!
Thing was there, but I guess it was him for some odd reason. But yeah, it was a good match. A great match, but I wanted my boy to win. But hey, there's always there's always a way.
I'm going to tell you straight up, Michael. I've been calling it for months since Bound for Glory. Ultimate X needs to return. I want to see Manik versus Chris Bay versus Raju, and maybe another X Division guy, maybe Suicide or something. You know, that would be cool. Ultimate X, you think it should happen at Rebellion?
Yeah, I think really. You say Rebellion? Impact Wrestling, I'm going to sue you for taking my pay-per-view. It was fine before you even had it. Stop taking my pay-per-view.
Or they could do Ultimate X if they're going to do Destination X in March. We'll have to find out. But anyway.
Yeah.
We will move on to the next match of the evening. Before we go to the next match, we had Eddie Edwards backstage with Alicia, and she said that she wants to be by his side in Barbed Wire Massacre. He said, "You're not coming out there tonight. You're going home to be with our daughter." And she said, "Okay, I got you. I can do that." But she didn't, because she come out at the end of the match. Okay, whatever on that situation. But we moving on to the Knockouts Championship match. We had Donna Purrazzo defending the title against Tyra Valkyrie from Slam City. They're backstage earlier in the night. We had Rosemary and Crazy Steve said, "We want to help you," because they knew that Kimberly and what's her name? Karen? What's her name? Susan, I guess. I don't get it. She looks like Sarah Palin. I'm like, what the crap? If y'all ever remembered back in the day in TNA when they did the governor gimmick, she looks exactly like that person that played that character, but it's Sue Young. Who cares? We'll get into that in a minute. But they come down to the ring. Susan and Kimberly accompany Donna Perazzo, Crazy Steve Rosemary accompanied Tyler Valkyrie. They just got into a big brawl at the beginning before the match even got started. Brian Hebner was your referee in this match, which was awesome to see. No, I'm sorry. Brian Hebner was the referee in the Knockouts Tag Team title match. My mistake. I meant to ask you, Michael, what are your thoughts on Brian Hebner returning to Impact Wrestling?
It was good to see Brian Hebner in Impact Wrestling. It was good to see him back. Good to see the Hebners back in wrestling doing refereeing. Mom wondering maybe his WWE contract was up, or they maybe just gave him a new Impact Wrestling contract to become a ring referee. But it was good to see him back.
It sure was. But that's my mistake. There's a different ref in this match. So the referee got knocked down by Crazy Steve. And the referee's like, I ain't having this crap. You're out of here. You're gone. Bye. Rosemary got upset about it, and she got into it with Kimberly. She said, you're gone too. He told Kimberly, you're gone. And by the way, Michael, what was the deal with Susan holding a phone up, recording something when you had this brawl on the outside? It was like, okay, what is she doing? Is she like Caleb with a K? It's like, okay, it's like we're doing with a phone gimmick.
I don't know. I think it's just the whole stupid lawyer kind of deal. She must be recording everything to make sure that maybe somebody will get sued, but it's just so stupid.
She looks like the governor, like the governor gimmick they did. It's like, okay. It's like Sarah Palin, another Sarah Palin gimmick. I'm like, no, I'm tired of that. I don't want to see this. I'm tired. Just be so young. I'm like, I don't like this. But anyway, it didn't come down to one-on-one. Donna Perazzo versus Tyler Valkyrie. It was a slower pace of a match. It was okay. I wouldn't say the greatest, but it was okay. Tyra hit a back suplex for two. Tyra plants her Donna Perazzo face first into the mat before employing a modified STF, and Donna Perazzo hit she did put Tyra Valkyrie on like Baszler does, and stomped on her elbow like Baszler does, and there was a big bruise on Tyra's elbow, and that was wicked. But it is what that was. But your winner of the match, after Donna locks in the brutal double armbar, forcing Tyra to actually say, "I quit." Your winner and still Knockouts champion Donna Perazzo. Michael, your thoughts on the match? It was kind of slower than the Knockouts title match, in my opinion. What did you think of Donna Perazzo stealing Baszler's move as well?
Yeah, I think so too. I think her move looks really awesome. Good match, but yeah, it was somewhat slow. But congrats to Perazzo.
Exactly. I wasn't a big fan of this match. I really wanted Tyra Valkyrie to win this match. So backstage, we go to AC Romero. Johnny Bravo that he found Larry D's ring rust cologne inside the Knockouts locker room. AC is still trying to prove that Larry was set up in the shooting of Johnny Bravo, and like Johnny Bravo did not care. He was like, well, where'd you get that? Oh, I got it out of the Knockouts locker room. Oh, well, okay, bye. I'm like, do you really need to see this? It's like, okay, they're hinting at Rosemary did it. Okay, I'm like, fine. Okay, Rosemary did it. Can we get off the storyline now? It's already been since before Bound for Glory or after Bound for Glory. It's over. Okay, just move along. Larry D is in jail. Who cares? Your thoughts on that situation, Michael?
Yeah, I thought it was just stupid. It would just end.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to move on to Michael's favorite. He told me this before we went on the air. He said this was his match of the night. He said this is actually his match of the year in 2021 so far. So we're going to talk about his favorite match of the night, and it was the Karate Man taking on Ethan Page. I thought it was garbage. I don't agree with Michael. I'm like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about. He filmed this at his house in a green screen, and it's like, it was junk, man. It's like, oh, we're going to beat each other up in front of the Mount Rushmore. We're going to beat each other up in a green field somewhere. And then it's like, it's just, why? Why? It's awful. This was awful. Garbage. I thought WWE put some crap on, man. But this, I'm sorry, man. This just needed to go. This didn't need to even be on the show. I don't know what Michael. Why do you think this was match of the year?
Are you really that stupid? I did not say this was match of the year. This was the most pathetic match. It should have been on the pre-show. And this is one reason why the Brian Myers versus Josh Alexander should have been the main card, because this match was garbage.
I totally agree. I had to swerve the fans. You know, I have to swerve the fans a little bit, Michael. But yeah, I totally agree. It's garbage. Technically, I know you said this should be on pre-show. Brian Myers should be on the main card. No, what should have happened was this shouldn't even happened. It shouldn't even been on the show completely. Not even pre-show. They could have done like a good pre-show match, put Brian Myers and Josh Alexander on the main card, and just did a better pre-show match instead of that match. But this is just this was nothing. This was just ugh. So if anybody wants to know, the Karate Man defeated Ethan Page, and didn't only defeat him, the Karate Man killed Ethan Page, ripped his heart out. It was over.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
Nope.
So is Ethan Page is never coming back to Empire? He's dead, right?
Yep, he's dead, gone, don't care.
So the North is finally done.
Yep.
So Ethan Page is what? Going to WWE now and be called some weird name, probably Ethan, I guess. I don't know, but it is what it is. I don't know, people. So we're going backstage segment. Executive Vice President, I guess, Don Callis, threatens Moose that if he doesn't side with him, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, he can make his life harder than it needs to be. Moose denies his offer and sends Callis a daunting message ahead of tonight's main event, saying, I'm not going to side with y'all. I'm going to fight and try to win this match. And Don Callis is like, well, we got 2 years together on your contract, blah, 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 whatever. So your thoughts, Michael, on Don Callis was very upset when Moose left.
That was dumb. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it was stupid. So now we're going into Barbed Wire Massacre. Eddie Edwards take it on Sami Callihan, and we had the announcers, Matt Stryker, said, you can't believe how this ring is set up. And I was like, oh, man, I can't wait for this. It's going to be no ropes, barbed wire like Abyss versus Sabu, Abyss, Judas Priest. And then they show the ring, and it's like,
why?
It's like, what? Hold on, people. This is not Barbed Wire Massacre. The ropes were still there. Just had some barbed wire wrapped around the ropes, okay. But in their promo announcement, Michael, they says, "Oh no, the ropes won't be wrapped in barbed wire. They are barbed wire." And I'm like, okay, I can't wait for this. But then tonight we get this. I guess maybe they decided on this situation because I guess maybe these two couldn't handle a regular full-blown barbed wire massacre match. That's my thinking. I don't know. I don't know. It was a good match. I mean, it was just a disappointment. of how they hyped it, and it's like I was so excited for this. Michael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was excited to see it too. Then when I saw it, I was like, "Are you flipping kidding me? This is boring." Like, good match, but
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. It's not nothing can beat Abyss and Sabin in the first ever Barbed Wire Massacre. That's a barbed wire match. This was not a okay, it had barbed wire in it, but it's not the same. It's like, why can't you took the ropes down, put the barbed wire up? It's like I just don't know, man. Disappointment, but we had barbed wire. We had barbed wire weapons wrapped in steel chair wrapped barbed wire. A controller. What was that? A Nintendo controller wrapped in barbed wire. We had a fence with barbed wire on it. The ropes wrapped in barbed wire tables. The end of the match, we had a blue thunder bomb to Sami Callihan onto the barbed wire steel chair. That was pretty brutal. You had a what was it at the end? You had Callihan hit a top rope pile driver through a barbed wire, wrapped in barbed wire board with plywood or whatever you want to call it. Eddie kicked out. He stayed alive. Eddie connects with a Boston Knee Party on a barbed wire chair, followed by the Emerald Flowison into a barbed wire steel chair and the board as well, the plywood. And Eddie Edwards got the win here. I was shocked to see Sami Callihan didn't get the win. And then Eddie Edwards' wife, Alicia, come out, and I thought he told her to go home. It's like, okay, you told her to go home. She shows up. Okay. But they were all bleeding. Eddie Edwards was bleeding. Callihan was bleeding. But, Michael, it's just not the same as the first ever Barbed Wire Massacre with Abyss and Sabin.
Yeah, that one was a lot better than this crap.
I would love to see comment down below what your thoughts are in the match, people. Give us your thoughts and your opinions on Barbed Wire Massacre. I thought it was a letdown. All in all, good match. I have to say, I give it to Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan. Great match, but it's just, if y'all going to do Barbed Wire Massacre, do it right.
Yep.
So next of the night, we have Impact Wrestling. This is Michael's biggest complaint on this show that I think he has negative about for Hard to Kill, because he's upset about it. Impact Wrestling returns to pay-per-view Saturday, April 24th for Rebellion. So live on pay-per-view. Michael, your thoughts? Rebellion is coming April 24th.
Yes, Crew Rebellion. That is my show. Not yours, mine.
So now we're going to move on to the main event of Hard to Kill. Kenny Omega, the AEW World Heavyweight. What, Eric? Oh, I can't talk about it. Oh, okay. Well, you getting word from AEW? From what? Why? Why can't I talk about it? Oh, we have to have the AEW Daily host talk about it first. Man, Michael, you and your AEW executives, I'm telling you. All right, let's go to Michael in Wisconsin to talk about his thoughts on the match, and he's going to announce the match or tell about the match, who's in it, and everything. Okay, Eric. All right. What, you got to cut me? Don't.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I thought about the match, it was scheduled for one fall. It was the main event. It was the six-man tag. It was Team Impact Wrestling of Ricky. His name is Rich Swann, your Impact World Champion. Moose, the TNA World Champion, and one half of the Motor City Machine Guns against, wait for it, from North Carolina. Well, no, he's from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. He is Good Night Mwah, and Good Night Bang. the AEW World Heavyweight Champion Kenny Omega with the Good Brothers, the Impact World Tag Team Champions, forming the return of the original Bullet Club. And they beat the living crap out of them. Moose, you gave your best. You gave your best. But when it all comes down, it's good night. And good night, bang. The winner of that match with the beautiful angel move, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. That match was my favorite because right here, I am the AEW Daily. Congratulations to our World Heavyweight Champion on that victory. Let's go over to Mr. Fatback Greasy.
There you have it, people. Mr. What, Eric? I got a question. Why you didn't? I couldn't announce. I mean, why? Oh, because you had your headset taken over by AEW exec. What? Cody Rhodes, Tony Khan. Really, Michael? Tony Khan? You good buddies with Tony Khan?
I don't know. He must have took over. I had nothing to do with him. So,
well, my thoughts on the match, I'm like, oh man, it's like, why did my team have to lose? Rich Swann, Moose, and it's like, why? Chris Sabin, why? It's like Team Impact. It's like, come on, you had this. And then Kenny Omega hits the Blue Angel wings, if that's whatever you want to call the name, and it lost. It's like, come on. Are we going to get Michael? And my thoughts, I thought it was an amazing match. I really enjoyed it. But I thought somebody was coming out. I thought maybe Jon Moxley was coming out, like you said on the predictions. It didn't happen. Nothing happened at the end.
Yeah, I was looking forward to Moxley coming out to do something after the match, but then was like, no, let down. My prediction went night-night. Thanks, Scott Demorne. Thanks a lot.
So, the way it ended with Kenny Omega pinning Rich Swann, are we going to get Kenny Omega versus Rich Swann, Impact Champion versus AEW Champion?
Yeah, we're going to see it.
But your prediction, are we going to see it in April in Rebellion? Or are we going to see it on an AEW pay-per-view at the next pay-per-view? They stole my name, by the way. You're talking about Impact stealing your pay-per-view name. What about AEW stealing my pay-per-view name? Come on, people. But Revolution, they're doing a pay-per-view called Revolution. Is that happening on AEW this time since they had a match on Hard to Kill?
I don't know. We'll just have to see how that all goes. But if it does, it might be at the next pay-per-view that you guys are having, or it could be at our pay-per-view coming up pretty soon. But yeah, we'll have to see how that all goes.
Or it could happen. Michael, Omega versus Swann at the Royal Rumble.
No. WWE would not approve that. They would be like, get this crap out of here. What the hell is this AEW crap doing on my show? Get it out of here.
Yeah. I had to throw it in there. That was funny. All right. But anyway, that concluded in Omega, the good drunks, bad drunks. I don't give a crap. They went up the ramp, they celebrated, and it ended the show. But, Michael, I do want to talk about, we had Don Callis introduce Kenny Omega, but wouldn't it have been awesome if they brought in the AEW announcer for Kenny Omega's entrance?
Oh my God! When I saw that, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna get Justin Roberts." And then when he did the announcement, I was like,
"Yeah,
I was looking for Justin Roberts, not you."
I know. That was cool. And I still don't understand the North Carolina part. I'm like, I'm trying to figure that one But I have no idea on the North Carolina part there, Michael. Any idea North Carolina deal with Omega?
I don't know. I'm thinking either he moved to North Carolina or something else. I have no idea.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, I can't wait to find out if they're going to do anything on Dynamite with the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. I was wanting the Young Bucks to show up, but I guess they might have was it in the plans before Shelley couldn't make it there, but it is what it is. So I'm going to give my overall thoughts on Hard to Kill pay-per-view. I thought it was an amazing show. I give it 9 out of 10 because that Barbed Massacre was a disappointment. But all in all, overall, great show. Go out of your way. Tune in. Go try to find this show. Watch this show. Awesome show, in my opinion. 9 out of 10. My favorite match of the night. Number 1, I'm going to go ahead and it's going to be the old school rule match. Eric Young, Joe Doering, Violent by Design versus Rhino, Dreamer, and Cousin Jake from State Farm. That's my number 1 match of the night. Number 2 is X Division match of the night. I told you, Michael, it was going to steal the show. It did. It was awesome. And number 3, I have to give it to the main event. Kenny Omega and the Good Brother taking on Rich Swann and Moose and Chris Sabin. Very good stuff here. I love this show. You know, Karate Man shouldn't have happened. But Michael, your thoughts? Is your match of the night the Karate Man versus Ethan Page?
No. No. Not my match of the night. Pathetic.
All right, so we're going to go to Michael and get his rating and his three top matches. Hard to Kill. So take it away, Mike.
All right. Well, my match of the night, I have to say final thoughts on the show. It was awesome. My match of the night had to be the main event, 6-man tag, and the old school rules match. My third one, I would go with the tag title match for the women's tag titles. I thought that was a good match. Final thoughts of it, great pay-per-view. There was a few stuff that let me down, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, but great pay-per-view.
Laredo Pro Wrestling reviews coming at you as well with George North. Yeah, I love George North. He's awesome. He follows us right here on WWE Slam Zone's Twitter account. You know, George North, you know, Mark City. Yeah, he told a kid in Georgia he didn't want to shake his hand because he didn't want COVID. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So is George North, Michael, going to be the next Laredo Pro Wrestling champion? Will he beat Eric Young?
I don't know. I have to see.
But anyway, he's not facing Eric Young in the future, but I'm just going out there and throwing that out there. But Eric Young on January 30th, Laredo Pro Wrestling in Georgia, Eric's defending the title against John Schuyler. He's been around in the independents for a little while. He was in PWX. Michael, your thoughts on Eric Young versus John Schuyler in Laredo Pro Wrestling?
I thought it was really good. I can't wait to see what goes on with that show. I've been missing a lot of it. I should check it out one of these days.
It's awesome. It's an awesome show. We're going to have that, like I said, reviews happening here on the TNA WWE Slam Zone's YouTube channel. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. I am getting a word from Eric. We are running out of time. So, we'll see everybody next time right here on the WWE Slams On, TNA Slams On YouTube channel. We hope everybody enjoyed this review for Hard to Kill. Michael, any thoughts before we get out of here?
Not really. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, for TCW coming up pretty soon. We've been pretty busy with apparently one of the episodes got So yeah, get ready for a new episode very soon. So yeah.
It's going to be cool. It's going to be epic. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. Eric's saying he about to cut us off. I'm serious. The Masked Men, Michael. What in the world's going on with the Masked Men? I know we talked about it on the prediction show, but I heard they're around, and I'm hearing they might be taking Eric. They might be in the production truck. I don't know. Not tonight. Okay, we got it locked down. Okay. So good. So I hope the Masked Man is not going to show up, but if they do, I don't know what to do. But yeah, okay. Well, we gotta go. We gotta go. I'll see you later. Eric, play my music.
Thanks for watching the TNA Wrestling Fan Zone. Stay tuned next week for more fun, action, entertainment brought to you by GTM Productions. Be breezy!
That's why he get up top, like he belong there. And when he taking off, it's like he own air. Whoa, whoa, we on the night. Whoa, whoa, yeah, we on the night. We on the night. Yeah, we on the night. That's right. Are you ready? Here we go. Let's get it started. Illuminate the darkness. You know who go the hardest. I roll out the red carpet. The 90s song and it belongs to us. Yeah. The time has come. Now raise them up. When we hit the streets, it's a main event. Like we landed on the moon. Nothing but